Welcome to the Highland League Weekly Friday preview ahead of another packed weekend of Breedon Highland League action. Here's Ryan Cryle to tell us all about the big game. This weekend's main game is Brechin City against Wick Academy. Now, Brechin returns from cold storage in midweek to beat Nairn 3-0. Not showing too many ill effects of their time watching on as Buckie Thistle, their title rivals, were getting games played. Buckie still has played 3 games more than Brechin, but the gap's been cut by the hegementic. Both teams know though they can't afford to slip up if they are to claim the league championship this season. Wick, meanwhile, not on a great run at the moment, lost 2-1 at home to Strathspey, the rock bottom side in the division in midweek, and that followed recent heavy losses against some of the division's top sides. A couple of 6-0s in there, a 7-1 against Brora. One of those 6-0s they had was at Martin last weekend. Gary Manson's side are 16th in the division. They'll need an improved performance if they're going to take anything against Brechin, who beat them 3-0 up in Wick earlier in the campaign.
Alex's man management skills was great. He knew every player, he knew the ones to put the arm round, and he knew the ones to give her. And that was usually the one to get the finger. You know, I was never one with the arm.
Yeah, you're well deserved.
Our second game this weekend is Rothes against Huntly at McKesset Park. And here are 3 things you need to know. 5 points separate these two in the Highland League. Rothes are in 7th, while Huntly are in 9th. Huntly really need a win in this one if they're going to close the gap on a Rothes side who missed the chance to open that gap to 8 points when they lost 3-1 at Turriff on Wednesday. You've got to go all the way back to August for when these two sides last met in the Highland League, and it was a 1-1 draw at Christie Park in what was a sluggish start to the season from both teams, but as you can see, they've both made a fair march up the table since then. As we've said, Huntly really need to try and close the gap on Rothes with this one, but that's going to be easier said than done with their away record. Only the 8 points from their 14 away matches so far in the league this season.
Competition time now. Last week perhaps I made things slightly too complicated. Suspected I might have, but what I asked you to do was put in order of when they were founded the 4 teams we were filming last weekend. This is the order they should have been in. Hopefully the graphics guys are able to sort that one out. And the winner, by virtue of being the only person that actually got the correct answer, is Ryan Monroe. So Ryan, in 2 weeks, not only winning himself a Highland League Weekly mug, but completing this set with a Crystal Paul tea towel. This week's question is going to be slightly easier to Google. Not that I thought that one was hard to Google, but this one, it's an easier question. I want you to tell me, we're filming Rothes against Huntly this weekend, and I want you to tell me how many more Highland League titles Huntly have won compared to Rothes. What I want you to tell me is the difference. That number. Please tell us in the comments below the correct answer. Please email us at sport@presentjournal.co.uk if you'd prefer, and you could be in the chance of winning one of our 2nd generation brand new Highland League Weekly mugs. I don't even have one to show you, they're so new. You'll make all the people that have already won mugs jealous. They'll feel like the mugs. So get answering and we'll reveal the winner on next week's show.
I actually played against Lawrence Shankland. He played for Queen's Park at the time, and he played centre midfield at the time, and I thought he's a very good player. And obviously he's went on and made it as a pro, so that's kind of backed it up, I would say.
Crystal Paul time now. Last weekend we got close to points. It's still 9-8.
Crystal Paul of shame, it should be called, the way this is going.
We did get a couple of goal scorers. Josh Peters was mentioned. Who was the other one?
Lucky McLeod was mentioned. They just didn't do it first.
Yeah, they just weren't first goal scorers.
Come on, boys.
Anyway, on to this weekend. There's no point crying over spilt milk, as they say. Brechin City against Wick Academy, our main game. What do you think the score is going to be?
Well, Brechin have to win, and Wick have had a real sore one in midweek, losing 2-1 at home to Strathspey Thistle. So I have to go for the title challengers to win this one, and I think they're going to win it comfortably. I'm going 5-0 Brechin. Yeah, looking at Wick's results against the top sides in the team in the league recently, they don't make for good reading. You know, it's all 6s and 7s. We've had that against Brechin City, Brora,
Fraserburgh. It's just, there has to be a reaction from their loss to Strathspey midweek, so I'm going to say slightly tighter at the back, 3-0 to Brechin.
And for me, my first scorer, the man that got the first goal on Wednesday night, I'm going for Grady McGrath.
I'm going to go for, I tip him every time, to do Brechin. Botti Biavi is going to be my first goal scorer. Game 2 then is Huntly Rothes this weekend. It's not.
It's the other way around.
It's the other way around. It's Rothes against Huntly at McKessick Park. I saw Rothes last weekend. What do you think the score is going to be in this one?
I haven't seen either team in the flesh this season, but I think Rothes will be disappointed with their midweek loss at Turf. They'll be looking to bounce back. We know what they're capable of, as they showed against Buckie last weekend, so I'm taking Rothes to come out on top in this one. But Huntly have got to go for it because they're looking to catch Rothes in the league, so I think it's going to be attack-minded from both teams. So I'm looking for lots of goals again. This time I'm going 4-2 Rothes.
Yeah, I would have been interested to actually see last night's game, the Wednesday night game, because last weekend, obviously, Rothes at Buckie are able to, not camp in, but they let Buckie have the ball, and they know they're going to hopefully take the chances when they break. Against Turf, I imagine they didn't do so much of that. I imagine it was a slightly more even game in terms of possession. It's kind of going to have to be the same against Huntly. I'm going to go for Huntly to win this one. 2-1.
Oof. First scorer's got to be the man that's scoring all the goals for Rothes, it feels at the minute, Aidan.
I'm gonna be, I don't know if this has happened this season, I'm going to be a Maverick. I'm actually not going to pick a Huntly first goal scorer though.
No, I did it last week and not picking, I picked Lachie McLeod.
Oh, wasn't that Maverick then?
No, but hey, you can be Goose.
I'm going to say Rothes, Greg Morrison. Well, that's concludes this week's pinning the tail on the donkey section.
See you some more
Yeah.
shame next week when we're standing here going, we had nothing, sorry.
What he said. It's the first quick take, and that's because it's taking place tonight. The game's been moved to explore new commercial opportunities, test the waters of Friday night games, but also it helps with the Scotland game being on Saturday afternoon for the Brock and Lossy players. Fraserburgh looking to bounce back from a 3-0 defeat to Brechin City last weekend. Mark Cowie looking for more consistency from the reigning Highland League champions, probably going into next season. Lossiemouth, meanwhile, they lost 2-0 against Clacknacuddon last weekend. Bit of a story of not taking their chances in key moments, that one, I believe, so they'll have to be better this evening.
Brora have Formartine United on their minds as they make a trip to Spain Park, as they look to reel in Stuart Anderson's team, who have now opened up a 7-point gap in third place. They've got 4 games in hand, but this is a tough one against a Banks D side who have lost only 4 times at home in the league. 2 teams looking to bounce back in this one. Leaders Buckie surprisingly held 1-1 at home by Rothes last weekend, take on a Nairn County side who lost 3-0 at title challenging Brechin City on Wednesday night.
Keith, they'll just be pleased to get a game on, haven't had one the last 2 weekends. Forest, meanwhile, looked to have turned a bit of a corner, still didn't get the win they've been looking for a wee while, but did draw 1-1 with Formartine United, the division's form side, 2 weekends ago. However, they then lost 2-1 to Devon Vale last Saturday.
A win for visitors Turf could take them into the top half of the table this weekend, but they face a tough test at an Inverurie Locos team looking for a win to keep them ahead of the Chasing Pack in the race for 6th place.
Okay, that's it for this week's Highland League Weekly Friday preview. Just a reminder, the games we're filming this weekend for Monday's show, Brechin City against Wick Academy at Glebe Park, is the main game highlights and reaction from that one, as well as secondary highlights from Rothes against Huntly at McKessick Park. You can see those highlights on Monday evening on the Press and Journal website. If you've enjoyed the Friday show, please follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, join the Highland League Weekly Facebook group. You can also sign up to our Highland League newsletters for more Highland League news from the Press and Journal. Enjoy the football, whichever games you're watching this weekend, and we'll see you next time.